Welcome to the Daddy Sharps featured bets. These are the bets we also love, in addition to our best bets, which you can find on our podcast.
But you're only going to find these bad boys right here on the daddysharps.com website. A beautiful website built by none other than Mr. Luke Ducey.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, you can also check us
Yes.
out on social media, everybody, at Daddy Sharps and at Daddy Sharps Podcast. And you can check out our YouTube's channel.
I like it. YouTube's.
It's a
All right.
stupid dad joke. Just
Yes.
a couple of dads, and sometimes we have stupid dad jokes.
Book face.
Wow.
Book face.
Wow.
So let's
Wow.
jump right into this bad boy, into our featured bets. With the disclaimer, our college featured bets are only leans, too many players sitting out, or they hit the transfer portal. And it's been a rough one for the bull season here. So
It's been horrible. It's been horrible on everyone. Yeah, it is. And we're going to reiterate the same lean bets that we had on our podcast. So if you want to forward through because you've listened to our podcast and get to our featured bets in NFL, I wouldn't mind you doing that. But
yes,
we might make more bad jokes in between, or dad jokes.
I like it.
Hey, all right. Just to remind everyone, the Washington Huskies are playing the Michigan Wolverines, number 1 and number 2 in the nation. The Wolverines laying 4.5 on this one as they play down in Houston, Texas. The over-under is 55.5. I'm leaning toward the Wolverines here to win and cover the 4.5. This is a classic Rose Bowl matchup of yesteryear. This would have been it right here. Classic game. The Huskies, Michael Penix Jr. obliterated the Texas Longhorns secondary the other day, 29 for 38, 430 passing yards, but it won't be enough to beat the Wolverines. The Huskies are facing the most complete defense in the country. I mean, according to Pro Football Focus, the Wolverines grade 2nd in the nation for tackling. They grade 1st in the nation in pass coverage. We saw what Michigan's pass rush also did to Alabama last week. Wow, what a mess that was. And on offense, Michigan is going to be able to run the ball against UW, no problem. Michigan's going to control the clock. Blake Corum was outstanding against the Crimson Tide in that semifinal. He converted that crucial 4th down that set up Michigan's game-tying touchdown drive in the game. And then he ran that 17-yard run to the house in overtime to seal it for Michigan. I think Michigan covers here, no problem. I hate to say that. I'm here in Seattle. I want the Dogs to win, but Michigan's the best team in college football for a reason.
Oh, sir. Guess what? Well, first of all,
we're fighting a little bit.
I'm going to start with the under here first, though.
Okay.
We both agree on the under. We like at some books it's 55, at others it's 55.5. By the half point, the most common college football final score ends in a 55. So get the half point, bet the under. We're playing the odds there. All right, so here we go. You live in Washington. You cannot bet on this game because in Washington they have these weird rules. I'm saying let's cut the vig out. Let's make a bet with each other. What do you say?
Okay.
We might be seeing each other here pretty soon, and if we don't, we're definitely going to see each other coming up. We always go to a nice dinner. Loser buys dinner. I like the University of Washington. I like the Huskies to cover the 4.5. Let's cut the middleman out. Let's cut the vig out, sir. They are playing the number 1 scoring defense in the country, who is only giving up 10 points a game. The Wolverines are. Washington has already played Texas. They rank 13th in the country for scoring defense, and they play Oregon twice already, who's ranked 11th in scoring defense. Washington destroyed them. They averaged 36 points a game on those defenses in 3 games. Washington's the underdog. Cinderella, I always say people die in fairy tales all the time. Not this time, sir. The dogs are going to live. The underdog's going to win. 3-0 against the spread when they're getting points, and they won all 3 of those games outright. For a nice steak dinner, my friend, I'm saying Washington plus 4.5. Now we got something to root for that night.
John, who's got it better than us? Nobody. And the Harbaugh boys are going to be saying that because I think it is a year for the Harbaughs. They're going to win the national title in college football, and they're going to win the Super Bowl with the Ravens. It is their year. Michael Penix Jr. is he's a good quarterback. He's a great, accurate quarterback. His accuracy is off the charts. The Huskies are explosive. They're great with explosive plays, but they're not going to be able to run against this Michigan team. And The pass rush is going to be crazy. Penix is going to be rushed. They're going to have to figure something else out. Maybe get the ball out quick. I think that's what they're going to have to do. They're not going to be able to get the pass coverage to toss up those long explosive plays. I just don't see it. I really want the Huskies to stay in there and have a. I would love an overtime game in this. I really would. I just want it to be like one of those games, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Michigan's going to win this one pretty easily and cover that spread.
Hey, you know what Oregon was when they played the first time? You know what their defense was ranked? Second.
Yeah.
I think Washington made them 11.
And it was close. And it was close every step of the way.
I think it was 36-33. I think that was the score in that first matchup. So there's something about these dogs.
If it comes down, look, I thought for featured bets we were going to slide through this game really quickly and we're just going to move past it. This is fantastic. So if this is a game that's that close, and Penix and that offense can pull off something against Michigan, and because they're a smart team, they really are. They do their film study and they will find something, perhaps if they can. And it's a close game, then we all win. We all win in a close game.
Hey, I got a little question for you here. Got a little question for Mr. Luke.
Okay, shoot.
If Harbaugh wins this bad boy, do we see him in Chargers colors next year?
Ooh.
Coaching Herbert? Oh, that's the rumors.
If he wins, or let me ask you this, because I think a lot of that pressure comes from the school itself, Michigan, his alma mater.
Yeah,
and the school that he has kind of embarrassed this year with a lot of the stuff, the shenanigans that were going on. If he wins, wins a national title for Michigan, what do you do if you're the athletic director and the chancellor and the board? Do you fire him anyway, or tell him, okay, it's time to go quietly in the night? We're going to call it a retirement because you want to go to the NFL, or are you obligated to bring him back because he just won you a national title?
I think they're going to give him the old "you can resign or we fire you" speech.
Wow.
That's what I think.
So they're going to take the high moral ground and say,
that's what I think.
Even though you won, we're a prestigious university. And
Yep. They've already laid the groundwork for it this year.
We believe in words like honor and code.
Let's go. Great movie.
Let's move on. We're going to talk about it all night. But yeah, I will take you up on that steak dinner. Loser buys. I'm with you, man. Side bet, love it. Forget the vig and the juice. Not the juicy steak, that is, but we will make that a Daddy Sharps bet. On to
but we get the points. It's got to cover the spread.
No, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Beautiful.
And I know why you're saying that, because you're scared. Featured NFL bet time. Featured NFL bet time.
Yes.
Kick us off with our featured NFL bets.
All right. This is a bet that I had, and now I'm going to change my mind on it, but I'm still going to go through this bet, and I'm not going to make this bet now, but I'm going to go through it and tell you why I changed my mind. At first, Dallas minus 13.5 at Washington, 48.5 was the total. I really wanted to bet Washington plus 13.5. I was going to wait for it until Sunday when they played, take the 14. I was liking the Commanders here in this spot. Dallas has been bad on the road all year long, 3-5 straight up. The only reason I'm not going to make this bet, the quarterback situation for Washington. I wanted to bet on Jacoby Brissett, not Sam Howell. They already benched Sam Howell, and then Jacoby Brissett pulls his hamstring last Thursday before Sunday's game. And now Sam Howell, they have to turn to him again after they benched him. And Sam Howell had a horrific game and did not cover a double-digit spread against San Francisco. So with Brissett hurt, I cannot bet on this game.
Don't players stretch anymore? I mean, what do they do in the NFL? Do they just not stretch?
True. Should I tell you the replacement bet now? Or should I wait till later?
Well, yeah, no. Yeah, go ahead.
I have the replacement bet. And what I like here is a teaser. One of Luke's favorites. We all like teasers here. The teaser that I like, Baltimore plus 10, Denver plus 8.5. Denver, this would be their first winning season in the last 7 years. And I heard a beat reporter today talking with the Broncos in the locker room, and these guys really want to play for that winning season. They want to end this streak. They want to end the season on a high note. I thought they're going to roll over for the draft position, but when you talk to this beat reporter, that's not what it sounds like from them. This means a lot to that team, and that's what they want. Also, Baltimore plus 10. This should be an easy one here. Baltimore at Pittsburgh. Baltimore's not playing any starters. It didn't matter. Baltimore and Pittsburgh in the last 5 years, 9 games in the last 5 years. This has not been outside of 10 points in that entire time. Most of the games are under 7. These are very tightly played games. And guess what, Mr. Luke? I looked this up today. Kind of weird.
Okay.
The Steelers are something like 7-3 in the last 10 games against the Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. In the last 6 games, only one has been won by the Baltimore Ravens. Guess who the starting quarterback was?
Oh, you
Wasn't
tell me.
Lamar Jackson. It
No,
was Huntley, and Huntley is
that's right.
starting this game, my friend. Huntley made the Pro Bowl as an alternate last year. I like the teaser. Baltimore +10, Denver +8.5.
Yeah. Okay. 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 I like
I'll
that.
take it.
I
I'll
like that.
take it.
I'll
Oh,
take
here you
that
go.
one.
You've already got this game. You
Well,
like this game too, sir.
well, yeah. When I first took a look at this, I was like, "There's no way, absolutely not." And then you start diving into it, and then you just figure it out. You just figure it out.
Mhm.
Pittsburgh Steelers at the Ravens, like you said. The Steelers laying 4. It's back up to 4, dip down to 3.5 a little bit. Over under pretty low, 35.5. I like the Ravens +4. Ravens are 5-3 against the spread at home. I don't really think that matters in this one because they are at some point in the game, if not at the before kickoff, they're going to be taking players off the field and resting them. Tyler Huntley has filled in well, I think, for Lamar in past games, actually. And who knows? Lamar might play the first half and then call it good. If he gets first half numbers in, I like that as well. Also, the Ravens backups aren't really slouches. They're playing against a third string quarterback. We've got to keep that in mind here. Rudolph is a third string quarterback.
Yep.
That means he looked pretty good in the last couple of games. Will that continue, or he's going to make mistakes against a scheme defense that is schemed toward divisional rivals? Harbaugh is not that guy, John. He is not that guy who's going to be happy losing 2 games to a divisional rival in the same season. He is just not that guy. I think he wants to win this game. He wants to win it badly, especially home field, even though they've got everything wrapped up.
Nice. I like it, sir. You know I like it.
All
All right,
cool.
this next bet, I'm a little nervous here. A little nervous about this one. Philadelphia -5 at the New York Giants 45.5. My bet here, I can't believe I'm saying it. I'm going to go with Philly -5. The Eagles are in a must-win here to keep their hopes of a home playoff game alive, if they want to do that. The reason I only made this a featured bet, data says the Eagles are going to cover the number all day, but I question the want to, which is why it's in the featured bet section and not in the best bet section. If they lose, they are the 5 seed and play the NFC South winner. It could be Tampa Bay. The division winner most likely plays Seattle or Green Bay, depending on how things shake out this week. In my mind, I would rather play Tampa Bay on the road. The easier path, I would think, are the Bucks. That's why I make this a featured bet instead of a best bet. I think Philly, I question their motivation, but I do think they should be able to cover -5.
Unbelievable. This is you look at the different divisions, you look at the NFC East and Dallas and Philly's records versus the Tampa
Yes.
Bay Bucks, and it had on the road.
Yes. and you got to watch Devonta Smith. His leg was injured in the last game, so you got to make sure this guy's playing
It's
before
the
you make this
Giants.
bet.
I know what people are saying about the Giants. I actually like Giants in a teaser. I do. I like teasing that number up.
Yeah.
The Giants, but Philadelphia is going to win that game. There's
Yeah.
no question about it, and it's part of my next best bet, or my next featured bet, I should say, as well. I don't ever share parlays ever on the
And
podcast. I
we
really
both
don't.
did it. We
I
both did
know
it this week.
because they're so good. There's so many
Yeah.
ripe parlays out there. I like the Eagles on the money line with the San Francisco 49ers money line. The Eagles are sliding right now. There's no doubt about it. A lot of questions about that team. There's a lot of talk about firing their coach, Nick Sirianni, which is
Crazy.
absolutely nuts. He coached the team to a Super Bowl last year. They're 10-5. And they've clinched a playoff spot. My gosh.
Yes.
And that's Philly for you, though. And those are Philly fans for you. With a win, actually, they could win the division if the Cowboys lose to the Commanders. A.J. Brown, maybe you saw this report as well.
Yeah.
He's been a lot of questions about him. And is he mad with the coach? What's the locker room like? And he said there's no issue at all with this team or the locker room. Nobody's mad at Sirianni. Philadelphia's going to win that game. Let's just put that to bed, okay?
Yes.
The one thing I haven't talked about so far is the team they're playing, the Giants. Come on. The Eagles are going to want to spark some momentum here as well as they go into the playoffs. Perfect spot for that. This is the perfect spot. Now to the 49ers. They're laying 4 at home versus the Los Angeles Rams. The over-under is 41 in that game, by the way. 49ers announced they're going to sit Brock Purdy, but their backup is Sam Darnold. Not bad. Not a
Yeah,
bad
real good.
backup, man.
Yep.
The Rams, though, announced they're sitting Matthew Stafford, Kyren Williams, Cooper Kupp, and Aaron Donald, all their superstars.
Ooh.
They're going to sit all of them. Money
Yep.
line the parlay. I'm telling you, 49ers and the Eagles, I should say, in a money line parlay. I don't know how that loses.
Hold on, Luke. I'm writing that down. Thanks.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. This one, it's against data, but I'm going to go with it anyway. Seattle -3.5 at Arizona 47.5. I'm going to say bet the over 47.5. For the past 3 years, I've bet the over in this game when it's played in Arizona. You as a Seattle fan know this firsthand. The over, for some odd reason, always cashes in this rivalry in the desert. 3-1 in the last 4. The total set in those last 3 games in the desert, 49, 49, and 55. They have hit the over all 3 times. You're getting it at 47.5. Bet the over 47.5, Seattle, Arizona.
Yeah, I like that as well. I'm just looking at my numbers right now at a book that I shop at a lot. They got the Seahawks down at 2.5, so a solid point down.
Nice. Yes, you're right. You're right.
Which is interesting. But yeah, still holding steady at that over. And yeah, they always play high scoring games as well. I'm on to
in Arizona. For some reason, they hit the
yeah,
under
right.
in Seattle, but in Arizona, they always hit the over. It's crazy.
Always, it's like a shootout.
Yeah.
Denver Broncos, as we know, you mentioned playing at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders laying 2.5 in this one. The over under kind of a lowish 38.
Yeah.
I like teasing the Denver up. I like that idea. I really love the Raiders here at -2.5. And I think I'm hoping it's not a sucker bet. It's not going to 3 for a reason. Maybe as we get closer to the game, the Raiders are one of those teams where America likes to bet on. This is a meaningless game in a lot of regards, but I think this is really a meaningless game for the Broncos. They're going to want to see if Jarrett Stidham is any good. Let's see what we got here. But the rest of the team is playing amid a cloud of rumors. I would say, and I would qualify that with from the outside looking in. So I'm from an outside market, and I'm going to ask you from an inside perspective, like since you're in Denver and you listen to Denver radio. So from the outside looking in, the rest of the country is thinking, they're stewing about Russell Wilson. What are we going to do? Will they trade Surtain or Sutton? And the Raiders are at home. They like their coach. They love their coach, Antonio Pierce. They love that guy a lot.
Yes.
And I think they're going to play hard for him on what could be his last game as head coach. They're going to try to, show ownership. We want this guy. This is our guy. So am I wrong about that? I mean, you mentioned earlier that the Broncos are, they want to win this one. They're really going to, but yeah, they got a lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of stuff going on in their house.
They definitely have a lot of stuff going on in this house. And the locals here, the beat reporters, they are saying Sutton is the #1 trade target right now. This guy's probably going to be gone. I told you today, one of the most interesting things here. The Denver Broncos have the most expensive wide receiver room in the NFL. And we don't have anybody like Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, anybody like that. So Sutton, they're trying to unload this contract. So Sutton is definitely a #1 trade candidate, tied for 3rd in touchdowns this year. I was with you. I was with you on this. I thought maybe the Broncos were going to play for a draft pick, but one local radio station here was talking in the locker room with the players, and they acted like this meant a lot to them. They wanted to get that first winning season in the last 7 years, and it meant a lot for them to turn the corner here and try to build on next year. So I don't know. I'm a little scared. That's why I teased it. I guess when you tease it, you really don't take a side. So I took the 8.5.
Yeah, I like the tease as well. But I just think the Raiders at home with Antonio Pierce. I think Stidham is in trouble.
Yep.
Really,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Crosby's coming to play, sir. He's going to be all over him.
Exactly. He's going to be psyched.
Yes.
All right. What else you got for me?
We got I'm gonna call this a pseudo playoff game here. Saturday night, we got Houston at Indianapolis -1.5. It was Indianapolis -1.5. Now it's Houston -1. The over-under here is 47.5, and that's what I like. I like the under 47.5. The last 10 games between these division foes, the under has gone 7-3. And then you look at the injury reports. Both teams combined, Luke, 41 players on the injury report in IR. 41 players. That is a kindergarten class in bigger schools. I expect this to play like a playoff game, each team trying not to make a big mistake and not taking major risk. I like the under 47.5.
Good point. Good point. If they're going to be playing stiff, I like that. Okay. Yeah, you
Yep.
convinced me. You convinced me. Good point.
Yes.
Jacksonville Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans. Jags laying 5.5 on the road. The over-under is 40. I love the Titans plus 5.5. Give
go.
me the home dog. And they've been great as home dogs this season. 3-1-1 against the spread. Now, I think a lot of people would sit there and say, but wait a minute, they've got nothing to play for. They're not in the playoffs. Look, NFL insiders are starting to say this could be Mike Vrabel's last game as a Titans coach. He doesn't get along with the GM. They're out of the playoffs. Rumor is he might actually ask to be let out of his contract or some kind of trade situation to be able to coach the Patriots next year if Belichick leaves, and it looks like he will. Isn't that interesting? And that makes sense, right? Totally
Yes.
makes sense. This team loves Vrabel. They love that guy. They will run through brick walls for that guy, and they will in this last game as well to try to ruin the Jags playoff run as well. Meanwhile, the Jags have been a mess, haven't they? Just a mess.
Yes.
Against everyone except the Panthers. Panthers are
Yep.
but they've been a mess with everyone since the start of December. There's no indication that the Jags are all of a sudden going to turn it around this game, especially against the Titans with all this going on. If this is Vrabel's last game, man, they love him. They are going to go balls out.
Oh, you know who else's last game it might be at home? Derrick Henry, sir.
Yeah, that's right.
There's rumors this is his last game in front of his fans there. The king may be leaving the castle.
I think he will. I think that team's going to be broken up, and they're going to want to play this last one and win it at home.
Yeah. I'm gonna piggyback on your best bet here. So I added it in the old features bet, and I'm just gonna add a few more things that you were talking about too. We both like Buffalo Miami game. We both like Buffalo -3. I was gonna say buy the half point if you can get a decent price. I don't think you really need it here. The Bills have owned the Dolphins, going 9-1 against the team over the past 5 seasons. Only once in that time frame were the Bills favored by a field goal or less, and they won by 18. Guess what? That was a few months ago. That was this season. I love the Bills -3.
I do too, and I think they actually might blow Miami out. I think it could be that.
I got 2 units on that bad boy. 2
Yeah.
bets.
Yeah,
Yep.
I may have put 3. I'm just saying. All right.
Yep.
The Dallas Cowboys laying 13. I think it's down to 13 now. I saw 13.5 as well. Could go back up. The over-under is 46. They're playing at the Washington Commanders. Look, man, after all the changes that you talked about earlier, I'm taking Dallas -13. The change is enough kind of convinced me. The Commanders are done. Sam Howell will get the start, as you mentioned. He does have does he have the all-time sack record yet?
Oh, he's close.
A single season?
He's very, very close.
That's right.
Is
A little
Micah
trivia
Parsons
for you.
the guy that's going to get it?
He is. He's really close. He's actually 8th on the list right now of most sacks in a single season. He has 64. So, but they're so close right now that he gets 4 or 5. He won't set the record, but he'll be high up on the list. Washington has been trounced week in and week out. Let's be honest. They've allowed the most points in the league. They're horrible. Dallas is going to go all out because they're trying. Remember here, even though this is a rivalry game, they're trying to get that number 2 playoff seed with a win here. All they have to do is win, and they'll do it. And I think once they start scoring on these guys, it'll come fast and easy, and they're just going to smoke the Commanders. And I think they win by at least 2 touchdowns.
Oh, nice. All right, sir. I got one. It's a little different. Me and you talked about this week extensively. This is the week that you want to start looking at betting futures in the playoffs. Smaller field here. You got 7 teams on each side, and one of my favorite futures right now. You wait any longer, you're not going to get this at plus money. Baltimore to win the AFC plus 140. Week 18 can be tricky with teams sitting players, but this is the time to look at these playoff futures. One future that I love are the Ravens to win the AFC. It was plus 150 Monday. People are already dropping it to plus 140. And then you look at this. This is the strongest team in the conference, and historically so. Aaron Schatz, who we've had on this podcast before, he runs all the DVOA metrics, says this is the 3rd best team of all time, according to DVOA. The other teams on that list all won the Super Bowl. And Luke, I got a trivia question for you. A little trivia. How good are these Ravens? Take a wild guess. Who is ranked number 4 right below this year's Ravens on that list?
I don't know.
A famous team from when you were a kid. Any guesses? Any guesses?
No.
The 1985 Chicago Bears.
Oh, wow.
And I throw that in here because that's how good this Ravens team is. And you're going to get them to win basically 2 games. Yeah, all you got to do is win the AFC. We're not saying win the Super Bowl. Plus 140. It's a 2-game parlay. I love the Ravens here at plus 140. They just need to win 2.
It's the old 46 defense. Wasn't it the 46 defense?
Yeah. Yes. Look
old
at you.
4-6.
He invented it.
That's right. I think Richard Dent was part of our he was part of our trivia just a couple weeks ago.
Yes, he
I
was.
can't remember what
You got me on that one. All right. So
I don't know why I
it.
didn't get that one. All right, man. Go ahead.
That
Close
does
us
it
out here.
for the Daddy Sharps featured bets this week. And remember, always gamble responsibly and within your means. The bets we share are based on our own research, and we don't always win.
And be sure and check us out on social media. Check out the Daddy Sharps on Instagram and Twitter. Check out our website, daddysharps.com. And we're going to be back next week, of course, with much more with the playoff picks, wild card weekend.
Oh, Luke, first a reminder and then a question for you.
Okay.
The reminder, I
Yes.
like my steak medium. Let's go, Huskies. And Luke, who is your daddy?
Well, we are, as long as we're not having medium steaks with like ketchup, because I think that's what I'm going to serve you right there.
There's no Mahomes in this house.
Medium rare. Medium rare.
Nice. Stay sharp, everyone.
Yeah.